What's up, everybody? This is John here, bringing you another episode of Thoughts for the Road. Today, I'm going to talk about dogs. Now, I like all animals. No, because I don't like rabbits. But that's from a bad experience. But I love dogs. Me personally, I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, 2 budgies, otherwise known as parakeets. Not too long ago, I had as many as 19 chickens. I've helped raise a pig. I've had 2 ducks. I like animals. But I love dogs. Dogs are amazing creatures. They are loyal to a fault. You can find a dog that has been completely abused and show it some love, and it will follow you to the end of the earth. As to where if you find a cat that was abused, it will be civil, but it never really regains its trust of people, usually. But over my lifetime, I've had a Dachshund, a Shetland. I've had a Schnauzer. I've had a German Shepherd Pit Bull mix. I've got a nice scar from that one. And a $500 bill to have my eye glued shut. I have had a purebred lab, a Labrador Retriever, and my Siberian. Right now I have my Labrador Retriever, who is more or less a rescue. He was not originally mine. He was my ex's. And she couldn't keep him where she was going, and she was supposed to transition to a place where she could keep him, and that was like 7 years ago. So he's mine. And then I have my Siberian. Out of all the dogs that I've had, my favorite is probably my Siberian. And she is my first raised from a pup, purebred animal. Now, I know people are screaming at their screens, "You should rescue!" All of my dogs, up until her, were rescues. Oh, and I've had a Chihuahua. But all of my dogs, up until her, were rescues. Same with all of my cats, rescues. She is my first purebred animal. When my purebred Labrador passed away, my ex's daughter had just bred her Siberian, Trunks. And she told me that, it was going to take some time, about 3-4 months, till it was all ready. And she was going to get her pick of the litter, so she would give me pick of the litter, and she would give me a really good deal. And when your pet dies, you don't want to hear about it. You don't want to hear about replacing your pet or getting a new pet, because you love that animal that just passed away, and you're heartbroken. So by the time she was ready to go, and I was supposed to pick her, I was I was ready for to get another animal. Brody, the rescue that I have, he was lonely, and so I picked out my pretty girl. Her name is Yue. Beautiful, beautiful Siberian. I have a video, and for some odd reason, it was like one of my first videos, and I accidentally posted it to my gaming channel. I don't have access to the original video anymore. But on that channel, it's probably my most viewed and liked video out of all the gaming stuff I have. Nope, it's my how to clean your Siberian video, and she's absolutely gorgeous. Probably over time through videos, you'll see her, but she has been bred a couple of times. I think three in total. I followed AKC recommendations and in how to breed her, and after 3 she was done. And I didn't breed her just, oh yeah, I'm gonna make money. No, I did rehome them for a fee. But every dog that left my house was potty trained, house trained, bite trained. They were vaccinated and dewormed and completely socialized. When people took my dogs home, they got a well-adjusted dog that was ready for a home. It wasn't just some dog that was floating around in the backyard, never seen the inside of a house. You got what you paid for. And I had a few people, they'll give it to me for $100. No. And then they would call the ASPCA on me. Oh, he's backyard breeding, because I wouldn't give it to him for $100. I told people all the time. And if you're ever going to breed your dog and sell them, I've got a few recommendations. But one is your rehoming fee. I could very easily sold these dogs for over $1,000. Usually purebreds with papers go for in the Siberians about $1,300. Mine went for about $5 or $6. I wasn't looking to get rich off of them. I wanted to make sure that the people who took them home were going to take care of my dogs. You might be buying them, but they're my dogs. I raised them, I cleaned up after them, I trained them. So I didn't want somebody who, in a year from now when they get big and they're starting to chew on everything and dig holes, that they were just going to put it in a kennel somewhere. So that was the purpose of the rehoming fee. It wasn't to get rich, it was to make sure that, if somebody's going to spend $500 or $600 on a dog, they're going to do what they need to do. And Siberians, they're escape artists. They are very smart. And they love to dig. Especially in their first couple of years. So I've done a lot of I love dogs, and I've done a lot of work with dogs, and I'm no dog whisperer, but I do know how to curb certain behaviors with dogs. And I've had people come to me and, hey, my dog's doing this, what's going on, what can I do to stop it? And I'll give them some advice, and they'll they'll come back to me and go, oh, thank you, that worked out awesome. I have people bring me their dogs for vaccinations. I do vaccinations. The only one I'm not able to do is the rabies vaccination, because that has to be done by a licensed veterinarian. But I love dogs. I deal with dogs all the time. In the industry that I'm in, not so much anymore because I'm in management, so I don't spend a lot of time going from house to house. This dude is on the freeway, wide open, doing 45 miles an hour. Okay. But I used to spend a lot of time out with clients' dogs, and I would train their dogs while I was out doing services at their houses, because I needed that dog to cooperate with me while I was at their house every month. People would be like, how'd you get him to do that? I do this, I do that, and so I love dogs, and I understand dogs. I had a client, but last month, I was there again today. I had a trainee out with me, and last month I saw their dog, and I was like, oh, beautiful dog. And the daughters were like, oh yeah, we got him, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, a German Shepherd Husky mix, right? No, she's pure Husky. No, they're not. So I was back there today, and I saw the father, and I hadn't met him yet, and I go, German Shepherd Husky? And he goes, yeah, a mix. Yeah, German Shepherd Husky. Yeah, I think so. No, I'm telling you. It's a German Shepherd Husky mix. And my trainee was asking me about it, and I'm like, yeah, look, you see the coloring? The patterning is for Siberian. The coloring and the patterning for the German Shepherd is there, but the sharp triangle lines, those are Husky. The white tipped tail, that's German Shepherd. I went off on it. The body is from the German Shepherd. The snout and the ears are from Siberian. He's like, how do you know this? Well, I breed Siberians. I love Siberians. Beautiful dogs. One of the most loyal dogs that you can have. All they want is love and attention. They look like wolves, and from the fence they're gonna bark at you and howl at you. But all they want is love and attention. And loyal. My girl, she gets she's 5 years old, still gets separation anxiety. Excuse me. And that was kind of what fueled a lot of the conversation today was Brody, my rescue. He's about 10 years old now, and you can see it takes him a little longer to get up. His hearing is going out. You can see his eyes are drooping, and his face was graying, and his face has been graying for a while. And that's the cool thing about dogs. If you take your dog from a puppy, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but if you take your dog from a puppy and take a picture of them, probably once a month for the first year, and then once a year for the remaining years, you can actually physically see the dog age. Their skin gets looser. They do get grays. Hairs go every which direction that they shouldn't go. They look more tired. You can just see them calm down over the years, and it's kind of a fun little experiment. But yeah, Brody's getting up there, and I knew about a year ago he's only got maybe another couple of years before he can't do it anymore. And that's what happened with Manny. You could see it, and you could see he was tired, and then just one day his hips said no more. And that broke my heart, because he would try to get up to go outside and go to the bathroom, and he couldn't, and so he would drag his hind legs trying to get out there, and he'd get into the kitchen, and then he just couldn't hold it anymore. And I never got mad at him. I knew he couldn't help it, and so I'd go in there and I'd pet him, and I'd clean him up, and I'd clean the floor up, and I'd pick him up and get him all nice and dry, and lay him back down on his bed. And you could see the shame in his face. And it broke my heart, because you could see that it was almost like he felt like he was a burden because he couldn't do it. He was ashamed that he couldn't do it. And I when I saw that look, I made the decision to not let him suffer anymore. And I made the appointment with the vet to bring him down. And before, we were living in an area that our yard was all dirt and weeds. And so when I moved to where I'm at now, there was grass in the backyard. And I made sure there was grass in the backyard. When I made the arrangements, I was told that the unit was not going to be available. I live in a duplex with a very, very big yard. But I was told that it wasn't going to be available for me to move in for 3 weeks. But I made an arrangement with the landlord to come by every day and maintain the lawn and get the lawn back up and going. So when we moved in and I brought the dogs in, Manny, would you get your brakes fixed? Manny absolutely flipped. And just loved the grass, and he spent all day in the grass, and when his hips gave out, he couldn't get to the backyard half the time. So the day that I was supposed to take him to the vet to go to sleep, he normally laid on his bed in the living room. And I came home and he wasn't there. I checked the kitchen, it wasn't there. Laundry room, not there. Bathroom, bedroom. So I looked outside, and it was almost as if he knew this was going to be his last chance to go lay in the grass. Because that's where he was. Big smile on his face. Just panting away, just laying in the grass, nice cool grass. So my neighbor helped me put him in a blanket, and we both picked him up and took him to the car, and that sucked. And now I'm having a look at that with Brody. It's like, I know he's going out, and I have to wonder if he's gonna stay healthy enough and just pass in his sleep one day, or if his hips are gonna go out, because Labradors, they got a problem with their hips. He's been on chondroitin to kind of help curb that, because that was sad to see Manny go through that. So he's on chondroitin to help with the joints. But yeah. And I found out a year or two ago that there's parvo in the yard. So you may notice that I just stopped talking suddenly. The background changed and the church got wider. My phone died in the middle of Thoughts for the Road. So here we go. I recently found out in the last year or so that there's parvo in the yard. I found this out because, knowing that Brody only had a limited amount of time and Yue has never been alone, I got another Siberian. As a matter of fact, I got one of Yue's granddaughters. A beautiful ginger Siberian. And she never left the yard. I didn't take her to PetSmart. I didn't take her anywhere. And she passed away from parvo. So I don't know if she had parvo before I got her. I wouldn't imagine, because usually parvo runs its course in a matter of weeks, and I had her for a few months. So my best guess is that parvo is in my yard somewhere. And parvo can stay in the soil, for those of you who don't know, for 7 years. So it can continue to attack, resurface and attack unvaccinated dogs until its life cycle runs out, which is in about 7 years. So what this tells me is that for the next 6 or 7 years, give it 8 years just to make sure, I can't bring another dog into my yard. I know people are going, oh, just get a rescue. But I can't guarantee that a rescue has had its full shots. I can't risk bringing a dog into my yard with even the slightest chance that I'd be bringing it to get sick and die from one of the most horrific viruses that a dog can get. So Siberians are very attached. They get separation anxiety very easily, and Yue has never been alone. She's always had Brody there when I'm not home and I'm at work. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that, or how I'm going to handle that. And so we'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button if you like the content that I'm putting out. And share this video if you've got friends that like dogs, or maybe something in my story is something that you know, somebody else is struggling with. Yeah, feel free to share. So that's it for today. And my name is John, and I will see you later.